After Thunderbolts opening weekend at the box office, despite the fact that the number itself was pathetically low for MCU standards, Disney CEO Bob Iger went out there and said, look at all the critics praising this movie. This is a return to form for Marvel. This is an example for us for the future. This is the new Marvel you can expect. And even though the mainstream media did everything in their power to convince you that this was going to be a smash hit, and Bob Iger did the same thing, it ended up being the same result as so many MCU movies we've seen over the past 5 years. A flop, a disappointment, and another Marvel loser. Thunderbolts on track to end its theatrical run by earning $380 to $390 million globally. And even in fact, the same media members who were praising it just weeks before, Thunderbolts lost millions of dollars, despite critics giving it great reviews. Where does Marvel go next? Man, how many times have we seen this headline play out before? But the answer to that question was apparently right in front of our faces. Where does Marvel go next? Bob Iger praising this movie, it flopping at the box office, it losing money for Marvel. Where does Marvel go next? Right back to the same exact thing that lost you money, because what was once just reports and rumors has now officially been confirmed. Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier will direct Marvel Studios' upcoming X-Men film. So we know that the X-Men has to be a big part of the future for the MCU after Doomsday and Secret Wars and all this stuff. They told us that X-Men was going to be a major future for the franchise. And now you're putting that in the hands of somebody, whether the critics like the movie or not. You're putting it in the hands of somebody who just lost you money at the box office with Thunderbolts. And look, I think there are worse options out there, right? I think that Thunderbolts is a better movie than, say, Captain America, Brave New World, but that's not saying much. That's like saying you're the tallest midget in the room. I don't think Thunderbolts was a good movie. I think it was a movie that had the potential to actually go to some emotional depth in the MCU that we haven't seen in a little while, even with characters we don't necessarily care about, but it ended up being extremely shallow while presenting itself as it was incredibly deep, which it just was off-putting, and it turned out to be a flop for them, a financial failure for them. Yet that's where they're going with the future. I don't know how many other options they have. XMen Movie locks down a familiar director as Marvel confirms return to 4 films a year. And remember, Bob Iger, this is so funny. All the stuff that comes out of these people's mouths is just so full of shit. Bob Iger, for the past several years, keeps saying quality over quantity, quality over quantity. Thunderbolts, a perfect example of quality over quantity, even though it's losing money for you. But then, at the other side of your mouth, when you say we're not going to be focused on putting out so much, we've been putting out too much stuff for Marvel, now you're confirming that you're going back to the 4-film-a-year release schedule when you just announced this. You can't make this up. If Marvel really wants to evolve or change or do something different, you have to do something different. And they love using the same guys over and over again. And I get that. You're comfortable with working with these people. They know the Marvel routine. But now you're putting one of the only franchises that can get you attention in the hands of somebody who just turned out a box office flop. That's what Thunderbolts was. And no amount of, crazy articles spinning it from the mainstream media in the weeks leading up to the final box office result, no amount of saying, well, critics really loved it, it just didn't connect to audiences. No amount of wiggling out of it can change the reality that Thunderbolts was a financial failure for you. Thunderbolts, even though the media pretended it was going to be a massive success, was exactly what you would have expected once you saw these opening weekend numbers. It was a financial failure. And now, where does Marvel go next is the question. It doesn't change. It goes back to the same people that just turned in financial disappointments. But I guess we can't expect anything different at this point. What do you guys think? Do you think Jake Schreier, the guy who just did Thunderbolts, do you think he can make an X-Men movie work? Is he the right guy? Or does Marvel actually need to go out there, blow a lot of stuff up, and get some fresh blood instead of continuing to use these people who have turned in subpar products time after time? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.